Welcome to the podcast. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm John.
And this is Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader.
Second time reader. Woo. Really the first, but...
Come on.
Well, really the second, but your memory is just a little shoddy. All right, you just read 4 chapters of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and we're going to discuss them. And I'm a little mad at you, just to start it off.
What?
Because you read more in chapter 5.
Oh, yeah.
Chapter 4 is supposed to be such a good cliffhanger, and you had to read another page because you were like, Hagrid almost died, but...
You didn't, say anything, though.
I know.
You could have stopped me.
I didn't want to stop you, though. I was like, she needs to rest. She needs to be at peace.
I do. I'm much happier knowing that he lives. But yeah, I'm always I either avoid the cliffhanger and I end early, or I read the next paragraph to make sure that there's closure. Because I can't be living like that.
Yeah. I still just love the idea that this is such a good bedtime story for kids.
Yeah.
Or you read that chapter and you're like, we'll find out tomorrow. And it's you really get the excitement
going. Your kid's just crying.
Yeah. No!
Just go to bed. It's past your bedtime. Yeah. And there's so many cliffhanger chapters.
Yeah. I know, it's so good. Give me one sec. Sorry. Okay, so let's go over chapter 1. Got a few questions in this, but can you help me do a summary of chapter 1, The Dark Lord Ascending?
Okay, so we are in the Malfoy's house.
Yep. And
it's a meeting of the Death Eaters and Voldemort, and there's a lady, is that Crucio? How is she?
No, she's just dangling above the table.
Okay. Casual. But anyway, she's up there, and then they kill her eventually at the end of the chapter. But they're talking about Snape is talking with Voldemort, and he seems like the most powerful one at this meeting. I don't remember the ins and outs of the conversation, but
they're talking about the plot to move Harry Potter. They're talking about what it's dealing with, or what's happening at Hogwarts, what the Order is doing.
There's a decoy person too, and then the Ministry is starting to get infiltrated.
Yep. What's the new Minister of Magic's name? Or no, not the new Minister of Magic. The guy that's infiltrating the Minister of Magic.
Yax.
No, you like the guy's name.
Oh, Thickness? Yeah, whatever his
Pious Thickness.
Yeah. That would crack me up every single time I read that. I hope he stays around because that name is just going to make my day every time.
It's such a good name.
Pious Thickness. Thickness.
Yeah, that's that's an apt summary. That's pretty much all that happens.
Apt summary.
What did you think of this whole chapter? It in its entirety. Did you like how this book opened up?
Yes. I love when they just jump in the deep end like this.
Yeah.
It reminds me of book 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel to get the plot going right away, I'm more into that than the slow wind up to the plot.
Yeah.
And I feel at this point we're running out of time too because it's book 7. So
they got to get moving.
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be pretty fast paced.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in this book? You said you remember one section of this book, or not one section, but something that they do in this book.
Really? What do I remember?
They went camping.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Harry runs away, or maybe he's on his Horcrux hunt. And I think he was alone. And then I think Ron and Hermione come later. And then there's a Patronus in the forest, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know where you're going with any of that, but
that's what I remember. And
maybe you just have a dream about this and it's not really what's happening.
Maybe you're gaslighting me.
Very well could be.
I don't know. I just know they're out there by themselves. And I'm assuming like, well, yeah, like the battle part happens, but I don't remember much about that. That's like the big war.
Yeah. So in this chapter,
and I remember the little broom chase too.
Oh yeah,
but not like fully, because obviously I was like, is Hagrid dead?
Yeah, that was chapter 4.
Yeah, but that's just in terms of what I remember of the book. Like that's it.
Did you remember Hedwig dying?
No.
So that kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, that was quite sad.
Yeah, it's tragic how she dies too, in her cage.
Yeah, I guess she gets like killed, and then I'm hoping she like dies peacefully and then hits the ground. She's already dead and doesn't just like hit the ground and then just rot in her cage.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yikes.
Yeah, I like to think that I think she died in her cage and then the cage fell and then they don't have it anymore.
Because didn't she get zapped with a spell while they were... Yeah. Yeah, why is Hagrid the one like protecting Harry?
Which is a great point. We will talk about that in a second, but we're not at that chapter yet. It's a great question. I want to talk about that.
Okay.
But before we go to those chapters, Snape talks about how he has a source in the Order. So there's this one section where it says, Saturday at nightfall, repeated Voldemort. His red eyes fastened upon Snape's black ones with such intensity that some of the watchers looked away, apparently fearful that they themselves would be scorched by the ferocity of the gaze. Snape, however, looked calmly back into Voldemort's face. After a moment or two, Voldemort's lipless mouth curved into something like a smile. Good, very good. And this information comes from the source we discussed, said Snape. Who is this source?
From the Order?
Do you think someone is bad in the Order and they're giving information?
Maybe Mundungus?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
But I don't know. I feel like it would just be Snape being with the Order and overhearing stuff rather than like another person of the Order.
Yeah.
Is like either imperious or just giving up information.
Yeah.
But the way they phrase it, like the source we discussed, makes it sound like it's not himself. But I feel like I trust everyone in the Order, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another point too, and we talk about this all the time in the first season because Jen doesn't understand that. And we've talked about this as well. Why does anybody want to follow Voldemort?
I think at this point in time, probably most people wouldn't want to, but they're in too deep. Like,
so yeah, it's too late to turn back.
Yeah, because now he's fully powerful, and like at the end of the day, you want to live.
Yeah.
So,
because most people, like, even when Snape and him are locked eyes, like people can't even look because they're like nervous and afraid. Everyone
I thought they were like Aquaman seeing each other.
Do you think that they were?
Yeah, I think they were like testing that they were being like truthful.
Okay.
But I don't know how like the two best Aquamans, how they look at each other's brains.
Who do you think is better?
Probably Snape.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he's a better wizard overall, or do you think that he's just a better Aquamans or Legilimens?
I think he might be a better wizard, but has not gone to the lengths that Voldemort has.
Okay,
because I still feel like Snape wouldn't go as dark as Voldemort and do the Horcruxes and that kind of stuff. But I feel like 100% confident that if you sent Snape to like go hunt all the Horcruxes, that he could do it no problem.
Interesting. Wow.
That's why, like, if they went to the cave before with Snape,
Dumbledore wouldn't have died.
Exactly. But
Snape would have just killed Dumbledore in the cave.
Yeah. Like, why couldn't Dumbledore just... Oh, I guess because he's a Legilimen, too, that he can just block out his thoughts if he was thinking about killing Dumbledore.
Yeah.
But even, like, this scene when they're at the table, like, the Malfoys... Are both Malfoy parents there? Or the dad is still gone?
The dad is in prison.
So it's the mom and Bellatrix and Draco?
Actually, no. I think he just got broken out of prison. Probably in the summer, I think.
I thought he was there.
Yeah, I think he's there. Yeah, he's there.
But anyways, I felt like they were not excited to be at this meeting and be like, oh, I'm like so honored to be with Voldemort. I felt like they probably were just like, what have we done? Like at this point, we're so far into this.
They're clearly that. They're clearly like, we have gone too far. We can't get out now. And even from, remember Dumbledore pleading with Draco, the last book, right before Draco was about to kill him? He's like, we can hide your family. He's like, you can't do anything now. It's too late. He expects me to do this.
Yeah.
Draco feels that. Lucius feels that. And Narcissa feels that. I think they all are in like too far. And I think there's a point, and the reason why I even remember that Lucius was there is because Voldemort steals his wand.
Oh, yeah.
Why did Voldemort take Lucius's wand?
I don't know. What happened to Voldemort's wand?
I know, right?
Did he not have the wand? Oh, never mind. That's out of order.
What?
He wasn't on the tower or anything. When would he have lost his wand? At the Ministry when he's dueling with Dumbledore? Is that the last time we've heard about Voldemort's wand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like anything could have happened between that. He could have gone and down and like lost it with the Horcruxes in the cave or something. Like he sounds like he's checking up on them. I don't know. I guess his wand's broken. Cause I don't think like a Malfoy wand would be any stronger than.
Okay.
Or not. Yeah, I don't think Malfoy's wand is stronger than Voldemort's wand.
Okay.
So I don't.
Who possesses the strongest wand in all of Harry Potter?
Dumbledore.
Why? Just because he's the best wizard?
Because I think that's like the Elder Wand.
What?
Is that a thing?
The what?
The Elder Wand?
Okay.
Let me look at the
What
chapter.
is the Elder Wand?
The most powerful wand.
Okay. So Dumbledore has that.
I think so. I don't know. I've heard that before somewhere. It's the only wand I know of that is not in anyone's possession. Did they bury his wand with him? They buried the wand with somebody when they died.
Yeah, what do they do with wands when people die? Do they recycle them?
They plant them. Yeah,
that's such a good idea. I love that.
They plant them and they grow into wand
It's my
trees.
lore right now. Yeah, that's my headcanon.
I think they snap them and then like put them in the coffin with the people.
Ooh, snapping them.
Yeah.
That's wasteful.
Yeah. But
kind of honors the person a little bit.
Yeah. And then it's like, I don't know. I feel like the wand is very personal. And I could see that as being like honorable, that like your wand isn't going to do any magic without you. It's just like it dies with you.
You know what they should do? That it would be kind of fun if your wand kind of like judges your character. So like if you die, I don't know, maybe this would be terrible. But going along with the tree thing, if when you died, they planted your wand in the ground next to you, and the size and like health of the tree was how, you know, good of a person you were. Yeah. And your wand was the one that was making those judgments. So like if it's this beautiful, like massive, like cherry tree or something like that,
wow,
people can walk by your grave and be like, this is a person that's worthy of honor. And like Voldemort's is like a little, like, you know, Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
no tree grows.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so beautiful. And then you get to like walk through a forest instead of a graveyard.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
I want to do this now. We got to figure out how to make this happen in real life.
We need some volunteers.
Yeah. We're going to need a lot of science. We need to figure this out. What did you think about like just the vibes of this scene? Everything here seems pretty evil, but what was your like just general take on it?
The vibes were not cool.
Murder?
Yeah, the person like hanging from the ceiling kind of ruined the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect her to die, I guess. Like, I don't know why they killed her. I guess because she's a muggle lover.
Yeah.
But, like, she's literally just there for, like, decoration. Like, no other purpose.
It's so gross.
But the vibe was that Voldemort's very in charge. Everyone here is, like, scared to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Snape is not, apparently. And they're, like, staring each other down. But I guess because he's fulfilling all of his duties, and he's like has nothing to hide at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I would think Snape feels pretty good in Voldemort's presence after killing Dumbledore. Like,
and on top of that, Snape is probably the one that brought Charity Burbage to him as well.
ooh, how did that happen? From school?
Yeah. Potentially. We don't know. It could have happened another way, but
Yikes.
it's pretty gross.
Did he kill her or did Voldemort kill her? Or who killed her?
Voldemort.
For no reason.
Because of her views on Muggle and wizard relationships.
But that could be anyone.
Like, yeah,
There's
exactly.
so many people.
This is like just a microcosm of what it could be with anybody.
I felt like the Death Eaters were kind of uncomfortable. That's also why I think they are all in too far and it's like too late to turn back, because it felt like they weren't used to this type of setting. Whether that be the lady hanging from the ceiling or just being at the table with Voldemort. They all kind of felt like uncomfortable, and I was wondering what the other meetings, like 10 years ago or something, whenever Voldemort was very powerful and before killing Harry, like if the vibe was better and they had all like more freedom to talk and stuff. But now they're kind of just like, why are we doing this? We are little slave servant things now. And they're scared.
Yeah, so there is this line that I think Dumbledore tells Harry about the followers of Voldemort and why Voldemort even gained followers. And I think they all fit into this to some extent.
I know what you're going to say, I think.
They were a motley collection, a mixture of the weak seeking protection, which is a fair few of them. Some of them are pretty weak. I mean, like the prototype for that is Wormtail. He's the one that is just going from strong person to strong person in his life, just trying to get protection. The ambitious seeking some shared glory, which
I feel like Bellatrix, the Malfoys.
Yeah, so I think they all possess the Malfoys. I think for sure, and I think the people in this category are the people who regret it the most, because although he's growing, they're doing some disgusting stuff, and they're like, we're in too far now. We just have to keep going. And then the last one is the thuggish gravitating toward a leader who could show them more refined forms of cruelty. And that's, I think, what you get a few. You don't get all of them, but I think there's some people there who are just like lavishing in the cruelty that he's doing, and they love it.
Couldn't be me.
All right, chapter 2. Let's do chapter 2. Chapter 2 is In Memoriam. Give me a summary of this one.
This is a lot of article reading, I think.
Yeah.
He's cleaning out his trunk. There's a little piece of mirror that's like Dumbledore's in there, I think. Or there's just a flash of blue light. But then there's the big article from Alpheus.
Yep, Alpheus Doge.
And then also like Rita Skeeter comes back, and she wrote like a giant book already about Dumbledore, and she's getting interviewed about that book. So he's kind of going through all his stuff and reading this, and then I forget how it ends, I think. No, it just ends with that flash of blue light from the mirror, and it's like, was that Dumbledore's eyes?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so in this, you learned of a few different sides of Dumbledore's story. So Alpheus Doge writes like a kind one, and then Rita Skeeter and hers, she's giving like a little snippet, and it's a pretty nasty one. What do you think of Dumbledore's backstory?
Well, we learn about his family.
Okay.
But
do you think all of this is true?
Who was Alpheus Doge? He was here before, right? We've heard of him.
I don't
definitely
think so.
Was somewhere, because I feel like I remember that name, unless if that's miraculously just in my brain still. But I thought we heard his name somewhere.
I don't know if... where's like appearances? His first appearance is in the Order of the Phoenix. And then he only appears. So I think he's mentioned in the Order of the Phoenix. Maybe the original order.
Oh.
And then he's only mentioned again in this book.
So he was there.
Yeah. From the article, what did you learn of him? Who is he?
Well, his dad killed 3 muggles. Oh, wait, are you saying about Doge or about Dumbledore?
Well, yeah, we'll do... Yeah, do Dumbledore.
Okay, because I don't know much about that guy. Like,
Doge was just a buddy of his that traveled the world with him for a bit, or was going to.
Yeah, their year of travel, which didn't happen. But what you learn about Dumbledore is that his dad killed muggles. His mom is dead. And then he doesn't deny that, like, his dad killed muggles. He just doesn't really talk about it. But it's just, like, whatever.
Is this true or not?
I don't know. Like, I would never even question that it is true.
Yeah.
Like, I just read that as fact.
Okay.
Because they've never spoken about his family except his goat-loving brother. And I'm accepting that as true. And this is also backing that up.
Yeah.
It talks a little bit about his fight with Grindelwald.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
I didn't realize that was like a publicized event. Like, I thought it was just a little duel in private.
Yeah, okay, so that's...
But apparently it had, like, witnesses and everything.
Yeah, so there were witnesses there, but, I mean, eyewitness testimony isn't the most reliable thing in the world. So...
As opposed to what other form of evidence?
Yes, but all I'm saying is...
Hearsay is actually where it's at.
All I'm saying is, in court, eyewitness testimony, I think, is getting discounted as of late. Or not discounted, is just... People are realizing that it's not quite as reliable as people thought it was.
Okay.
Like, you need it for sure. So in this, I mean, like, it could be completely true, but we're relying on people who maybe caught a snippet of it here and there and are trying to piece things together.
No, like, I feel that way about Rita. Because, like, what Rita's seeing is not what Rita's talking about half the time.
Yep.
So... yeah.
And how Rita is getting this information is a little shady too. She just seems a little strange.
She is a little strange. Yeah. Fair statement. Oh, he has a sister too?
Dumbledore?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his family, he's got a brother, he's got a sister, and his mom and dad.
So parents and sister die. And then Aberforth is alive.
Yeah. Aberforth's still alive. Sister is dead. Mother's dead. Father's dead. Father was sent away for prison for attacking muggles. Dead.
Bullet points. Let's go. This is how my brain functions. Why is he blaming himself for his sister's death?
Yeah. Why is he blaming himself for his sister's death?
I don't know. Just asked that question. Maybe he couldn't protect her. Maybe he was there. He saw it happen. Maybe the brother killed the sister. And then they were estranged. And then they, like, made peace after, I don't know.
On another point, why is any of this important at all?
What?
Is any of this important for what this story is going to lead to?
I don't know. This is a big book.
Yeah.
I feel like it probably is important. There's like 800 pages.
And how does Harry not know any of this?
Because he doesn't ask other people about themselves. He just sits there.
And
that was his little regret. Like, we had a moment of that where he was thinking to himself, like, why did I never think to ask Dumbledore these questions? But I'm not sure Dumbledore would have really answered them either.
Yeah, Dumbledore wasn't a guy who answered a lot of questions that Harry had.
No.
So I don't think Harry had a lot of confidence with asking him any questions, because Dumbledore would have been like, oh, I'll tell you that, next week. And then he just kept saying that week after week.
Yeah. I'm sure with all of Dumbledore's accomplishments and like publications that he could have found a lot if he looked by himself.
Yeah.
Like he could have just gone to the library and probably found a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
agreed.
But he's like not even curious like that. Hermione is probably like, "Oh, you didn't know that?"
Yeah, I'm curious how much Hermione would actually know about this. Like, I wish they had Google. I wish like Hermione was like able to be like, "Oh, let me just Google Dumbledore and see what like they've written about him."
Yeah, Hermione and Ron don't really have much face to face with Dumbledore.
Yeah,
it's all through Harry. So I feel like they know him as a person just because their best friend is homies with Dumbledore. But
it's valid.
I don't know. What's up, Lou? Got something to say?
Yeah, this chapter, it's just like two articles that are kind of pitted against each other. Rita Skeeter's seems like the less reliable one. Alpheus Doge's seems like the one that's more true. But yeah, the more important question: who did he see in the mirror?
Dumbledore.
So
his blue eyes shining.
Is this a way to communicate with dead, or is Dumbledore alive?
I don't even want to say yes that Dumbledore's alive because it took me so long to grapple with the fact that he's dead that I don't know if I can handle it. If
You're gonna have to go through the whole process of grieving again.
I don't know. I want to say he's alive because I feel like there's so much more of the journey left. And I feel like there has to be some weird form of magic that he's a ghost. He's like an inferior person. Like there's so many post-death things in this book already that I feel like he can be.
Okay.
And he has a phoenix. Like the freaking phoenix should be able to heal him.
How?
With the tears or like the
phoenix
song.
Can cry in a dead person and raise that person from the dead. That's wild. That is a wild theory.
That's what I want to happen. I don't know. Like I would enjoy it if he comes back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I don't even want to have hope.
Okay, there is a point in this book, and I think she prepped you for this in some way. That in the fifth book, when Sirius dies, Harry comes back and then has a conversation with Nearly Headless Nick. I think it's one of the most important conversations in the whole book. Because Nearly Headless Nick is like adamant. He's like, no, he will have gone on. Very few choose the life of like coming back from the.
Oh, so you can just choose it?
It seems like when if you want to become a ghost, at least, it seems like you have a choice where if you have such unresolved things in your life and you want to like, go haunt something, you can become a ghost. Very, very few pick that path. Would Dumbledore have picked that path, or would he have gone on?
I don't have any recollection of Ghost Dumbledore. Not that I really should be trusting my memory with the track record.
Yeah.
But he seems too good to be a ghost. Like the ghosts all seem goofy to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And Dumbledore's like the greatest wizard ever. So I don't know that he'd be a ghost. But yeah, I feel like I don't know, like he can't communicate with Sirius in the mirror after he's dead, or did he never try to do that? I think no, he did try to do that.
Tried.
So I don't understand why Dumbledore would do that unless he like put his soul in the mirror and that's like his Horcrux. I don't know. But then there's that little like quote thing at the beginning and it's talking about the glass and how like friends stay with you forever. And I'm like, did she put that there because Dumbledore's like never gonna leave? They're inseparable. That little, little blip sentence thing.
That's a good thought.
In this divine glass, they see face to face, and their converse is free as well as pure. This is the comfort of friends that though they may be said to die, yet their friendship and society are, in the best sense, ever present, because immortal. So Dumbledore's immortal. I think he is. I don't know where he goes. He's probably like hunting Horcruxes.
We'll see. We'll see, Lizzie. I like your theories.
I just want to know.
You just don't get anything out of me.
I want to know something for sure.
I know. Okay, let's do chapter 3. The Dursleys departing.
The Dursleys leave.
The Dursleys order. Leave. And our guy, little dud, Big D, gets his.
Yeah, that
redemption.
Was like really nice. I feel like that was what I was remembering way early on in the podcast because now the podcast is out and I can listen to it. I was like, oh, they have this little like moment of reconciliation. And I don't know if it was the Dementor situation or this situation that I was thinking of, because this is like a better, like, I don't know, kindness to Harry. But it sounds like they didn't talk at all during the summer. Like, it sounds like Harry was just in his room. And I wonder if he wasn't in his room, if Dudley and him would have had like a good summer together. Because then he was like, was that tea? Like, did he actually bring me tea?
Dudley was trying to like cross the bridge in small little ways.
Yeah. And he probably is like maturing too. Like, he's growing up a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's probably like 17 or 18 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's older, right?
Yeah.
Like older than Harry.
He's minimally older than Harry. I actually don't know when Dudley's birthday is. Not that I would like have that off the top of my head, but
you probably would. His birthday is mentioned.
Oh no, his birthday is mentioned. Yeah, June 23rd, 1980. And Harry's
like really recently.
I know. I just passed it. I know.
Year.
July 2nd right now. Yeah, it's kind of cute to see him like trying to do small little things to make it up to Harry. Like, again, you hate the Dursleys, but what did you think? Yeah, what do you think about their turning here? Not really their turning. I don't know how to phrase this question. Do you have any sympathy for them?
In this moment, yes, because they're actually like in danger.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they like signed up for that, but they definitely didn't want that.
Yep.
So it might be like the duty of, being the family that they have to take care of him. But they're just going to go to the Order somewhere. Like, they're going to hang out with the Order. I thought they were going to go to like Grimmauld Place or something. But they just said you're like safe with the Order. I think they're panicky right now, but they're trusting, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know when they're going to appear again. I'm assuming once Voldemort's dead. But I don't think they'll like apologize and, for everything they've done so far. I think they're just going to come back into the scene and be like, life is normal. And then just like move on and not talk to Harry. So I don't think like I'm sympathetic in that way, because I don't think they're going to be thankful. They just kind of have to do what they have to do.
But do you think like Dudley seems a little different from the others?
Yeah.
Dudley seems like a product of his own parents making, that he's like coming out of that and realizing that his parents did some pretty terrible things.
Yeah.
And he did some terrible things and he's trying to make up for it. Vernon isn't trying to make up for it at all. And Petunia feels like she's long gone. Feels like she's like can't make it up. Because she has this one thing where it says, and Petunia, whose white face had been buried in her handkerchief, looked around at the sound. She did not seem to have expected to find herself alone with Harry. Hastily, sewing her wet handkerchief into her pocket, she said, well, goodbye, and marched toward the door without looking at him. Goodbye, said Harry. She stopped and looked back. For a moment, Harry had the strongest feeling that she wanted to say something to him. She gave him an odd, tremulous look, and seemed to teeter on the edge of speech, but then, with a little jerk of her head, she bustled out of the room after her husband and son. What did she want to say to him?
I don't know. I keep thinking about Dumbledore's letter to her.
Yeah.
And like what else has been said to her. Because I was thinking like maybe they had more communication than what's written. And like I don't know what that first letter said.
Yeah.
Obviously, remember my last letter, whatever was in that.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like she wanted to wish him well and like good luck. I hope you defeat the Dark Lord. But almost only for her own safety. Like, please defeat him.
Yeah.
Because she actually knows and understands like who Voldemort is and the Dementors and all of the evil that's going to come. So I feel like she maybe was like, I hope you can do this. Like, I really like get out there, get him, please.
But she's doing it for her own selfishness. Like, I want to still live my normal life.
Yeah, because I still don't think she's like loves Harry or anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like Vernon is just like nothing in his brain. Just like panic, confusion. He's very stuck up.
Very ignorant, very yeah.
And then, Dudley's like coming around, having a little turn.
I know. I love that. Love that for him.
Me too.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that happens in this chapter. You get a little download with Dudley and Petunia and Vernon. And that's pretty much it. And then the last one, which we're doing tonight, is the Seven Potters.
Yeah. So in the Seven Potters, the order comes to to whatever their house is, Privet Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I should know everything at this point, but I can't.
No, this is only your second read. On your fifth, I expect you to remember everything, but not on your second.
We'll check back in 15 years. The order comes to collect Harry, but it's the Order Extended Edition because there's Fleur.
The Order Extended.
And Bill and I don't know who else.
Yep.
But bunch of people. And then half of them take Polyjuice to look like Harry, and then they go by twos out into the sky back to Tonks's parents' house.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And Tonks is married.
Yeah.
To Lupin.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I'm kind of fine with it now.
Yeah.
I had a moment of but I think they're kind of good for each other.
Yeah. I think it's better now.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when they were all putting pressure on him, but I'm I feel like Lupin's come around and figured things out.
How much time has passed since?
Just the summer. Just probably 2 months. Because they're coming on Harry's birthday, which is July 31st. No, July 30th. July 30th. I don't remember.
You should know this.
I know. I don't think there's 31 days in July, though. So July 30th.
No, there's 31 in July.
Harry, not Prince Harry, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's birthday.
Yeah, it's July 31st. I always get that wrong. So his birthday is July 30th. So in the last book, they end the school year probably the end of May, early June. So honestly, it's probably only been a month.
They figured it out fast.
Yeah, they figured out everything pretty fast.
Or Lupin figured it out fast.
Yeah. Or maybe he was super pressured into it. Do you think that either of them will have regrets? How do you think the relationship is going to go?
I feel like the first 5 years are going to be rough.
They got a lot to figure out.
Yeah. Not even given the fact that there's a world crisis happening.
Yeah.
Just in their personal lives. I think the first couple years are going to be rough. But yeah, I see it working out for them.
Mm-hmm. You just need a good therapist.
Yeah, they should jump in therapy right away. Just precautionary.
Yeah, they got a lot of things they got to work out. I think Lupin has probably more issues that he has to work out than Tonks, but Tonks still has to wrap her head around certain things because she was a mess in the last book, and so she's got to figure some stuff out.
But she was a mess because of Lupin not wanting her.
Okay, I think there's part of that's true, but I think I think it's a mix of a bunch of stuff. That was probably the main impetus behind it, but I think any of that kind of stuff is just you're looking for a release. So yes, she's super depressed about that, but also Sirius died, and also they seem to be failing, and also her parents are on the fritz and on the run, and everything's stressful in her life, and she doesn't know if she's gonna die one day because she's working for the Ministry of Magic as an Auror. There's a lot that's going on in her life. She's probably stressed and nervous, and on top of that, she wants to be with a guy that not that doesn't want to be with her, just doesn't think that he deserves her, and is trying to be passive and dismissive of it, and she's worried about him too, and a lot of emotions.
Yeah, I feel if Lupin was doubting it too, that makes it so much harder because you're not sure how the other person's feeling.
Yeah,
but I think Lupin needs companionship. He's always alone.
Yeah, I
think of him as always alone.
Yeah,
or then he's being a werewolf, and then he becomes a human, and then he goes back home and sits by himself, and that's why he's all old and yeah.
Because it is a great point, because in these books I do think of him as being significantly older than he actually is.
Yeah,
because he's upper 30s at this point in the book. and or no, like mid 30s.
I thought you said like 30.
Well, early on when he taught Harry, I think he was like early 30s. So probably like mid 30s right now. But I think you're exactly right. I think his life is pretty characterized as loneliness, as like a lonely life. He had lycanthropy when he was a kid. Probably was very isolated in certain moments and occurrences.
Yeah.
And he was like the height of his life was his friendship with the Marauders when they would go and be with him in his like loneliest moment.
Yeah. I feel like that was his only friends too.
And then they die.
Died.
And then like I would love a small little snippet, like a side series of how Lupin dealt with Sirius's death.
Yeah.
Like that would be really interesting.
But even like they didn't have all those in between years together either because Sirius was in jail.
Yep.
So who did he talk to that entire time? I feel like he's just lived a very long life in a very like short amount of time.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you. And it's aged him.
Yes.
Man, Lupin, I love Lupin so much. He's the best. But yeah, I think they need to work out a lot of their problems.
Like what even problems do they have though? Like just what we're saying now?
Yeah, I mean like deep loneliness, like how are they going to cope with each other? Lupin's been on his own and like yeah, he needs companionship, but he's got also has to like learn how to accept companionship. Because I don't think Lupin's
they
really
would
like
obviously they like
that.
being together though.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's choosing to spend time with her.
But Lupin also has immense guilt over the things that he was given non-willingly, like his lycanthropy. Like some dude came up and bit him when he was a kid, and he has this, and he's more responsible now, so he knows that like okay, he poses a danger. And remember when he left in book 3, he left not because they asked him to leave. He left because he felt like a duty and a responsibility to leave. So he has this thing I think on him at all times where he's like, I need to do what's right in his eyes, which is always trending toward isolation and being alone, which is like, I have to bear this on my own. He sounds eerily similar to someone that I know, which is me.
Dun, dun, dun. I agree with that statement. Very true. But yeah, that's also if he believes like isolation is better than like him being with other people, all of his fears of like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too poor, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, not that
they're fake.
Yeah, they're fake, but he also like would rather kind of just punish himself than like find a solution to that.
Yep.
Because I think those are like workaroundable issues. If Tonks isn't like opposed to the age gap, then like the other things you can work around. But he's just like, oh, I just rather not like mess with it. And I just rather back away from the situation.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't do.
All right. Wow. This did not become a podcast on me, therapy right here. Yeah, I was gonna agree with you fully. Because in fight or flight, he is 100% flight. He wants to run from his problems. I could give you a whole like download of information on Lupin based on what I do because I feel like I'm very similar to him. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think it just takes a concerted effort to train himself to not run away from those things, which is really hard for him to do. Hard for me to do.
And it's like scary to go work through all those things too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it is easier to just give up and run if you can take it.
Yeah.
John.
All right. Fine.
Just kidding.
Okay, if you were to make a plan to get Harry out of Privet Drive, because you even mentioned that when you read, you're like, this doesn't seem like a great plan. Why not move him the day before or like a few weeks before? What would your plan be?
Secret tunnel. Dig a big hole to, I don't know.
There's got to be some like spell that you can just do like a tunnel building thing.
Can the Death Eater see through the invisibility cloak?
No.
So can we get like 17 more invisibility cloaks and everybody go ride together? Or just like send Harry by himself under the invisibility cloak and be like, listen to me, go in a straight line, whatever. I feel like that's not that risky.
Yeah. Honestly,
unless if they're just like shooting aimlessly through the sky, like hoping to hit him.
Yeah.
But
something I'm actually surprised that doesn't happen in this book is that Harry actually accepts the help that's coming his way and he doesn't try to do things his own way. Like I think it would have been a compelling intro to this book if Harry dons the invisibility cloak and
just runs.
goes to like a bus station and takes public transportation to London, where he just goes into Grimmauld Place and he like meets up with the Order. Is like, hey guys, and he takes it off and it's like, oh hey, reunited before like a week before you thought you were gonna come get me. I mean, he probably can't do that. Everything is very mandated and regulated for him right now. But Harry's personality is very much like, let me do this on my own. But it's not. They needed to kill Hedwig.
Target number 1.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't like it only feels unsafe because they know that this is the plan. Like if you chose a different plan, I think Harry would be fine going out by himself. Like, I don't know. I guess there are Death Eaters like patrolling everywhere, but he could defend himself if he comes across like 1 or 2 of them. And even I think that's the only reason he lived as long as he did with Hagrid on this motorcycle thing is because he was using spells and like protecting them, both of them.
Okay, so and
Hagrid's the biggest target too, like, and then giant Hagrid, but then giant car thing with a sidecar or motorcycle with a sidecar. So
who are you sending Harry with out of this whole group?
I thought he was gonna go with Moody.
Yeah.
Cause I thought Moody said that too. He's like, I don't know. I thought he said like, you're coming with me, but I guess he wasn't talking to Harry.
He's talking to Mundungus.
So he's trying to keep an eye on Mundungus because Mundungus spilled the beans.
Could be.
And then he's like, oh, this is your fault. But Mad Eye would be better. Or even like give the invisibility cloak to like anyone else and then have 3 of you go together.
Yeah.
Or just keep all of the 7 Potters together and like ride a line. Like Target. I realized listening back to the podcast that I can never pronounce invisibility cloak correctly on the first try. I always go like croak. I don't know what to say. Coke. But I don't know. Like I would just rather shoo him out the door and be like, run. And I think that would be better.
Yeah.
Or take the bus. But now Stan Shunpike, whatever,
is trying to kill him right now.
I love Stan too. I was so sad.
You love Stan? What?
I did. I made him one of my favorite, like my house cup one time.
That's right. You won house cup if you.
Because I kept thinking, oh, this is like the alternate route when you can't like when you're not a super successful wizard, you just like, I don't know, get to hang out with people. Like he probably has so many cool stories of meeting people.
Agreed.
He goes to cool places.
Totally agree.
I think he's definitely an imperious because it said he had an odd look on his face or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like a blank look. Nothing behind his eyes.
And wasn't there like a article in the newspaper about him a while ago?
Yeah.
Was that the one where he was like overheard talking about Death Eater plans?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Harry has been his defender from day one. Which is just weird. Harry doesn't really know him. But he's out here defending Stan Shunpike until the day he dies.
But Harry's like that.
Yeah, for sure. Harry's got a saving people thing.
Complex. Yeah.
This is a weird part of this book as well, where when Voldemort comes flying at him.
Yo, that was so scary.
Right?
I hated that.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But he comes flying at him, and
not flying on anything.
Yeah, not flying on anything. Not a broomstick.
I low-key just like flying. Picture him on the snake and the snake just like straight like a it's like pew. Just a little dart. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Proceed.
But they have like a duel in midair. And it says Harry dropped the hair. Oh no, hold on, this isn't it.
What? He dropped the hair?
No, sorry, I was talking about his whatchamacallit. His Polyjuice turns gold. So his Polyjuice turns gold, but then it says here. It was over. He could not see. Hold on, is this the line? Oh yeah. It was over. He could not see or hear where Voldemort was. He glimpsed another Death Eater swooping out of the way and heard Avada. As the pain from Harry's scar forced his eyes shut, his wand acted of its own accord. He felt it drag his hand around like some great magnet, saw a spurt of gold fire through his half-closed eyelids, heard a crack and a scream of fury. The remaining Death Eater yelled. Voldemort screamed, "No!" Somehow Harry found his nose an inch from the dragonfire button. He punched it with his wand-free hand, and the bike shot into more flames into the air, hurtling straight toward the ground. What is going on there?
So his wand fires without him doing anything?
Yeah.
Is Voldemort eliciting that with the brother wand?
Is he? That's a great question. How is this happening?
The wand is, I don't know, Dumbledore like programmed something into the wand to prepare Harry. Like maybe the wands know the prophecy and it's like destiny that it has to like kill him. Why is it gold? Nothing is ever gold.
Yeah.
It's always green or red or white.
Mm-hmm. And
Phoenix is gold.
I
don't know.
Could be.
Phoenix tear shoots out.
Yeah, they're shooting out of his wand. That'd be fascinating.
He felt it drag his hand around like some great magnet. A crack and a scream of fury.
Yeah, what is this crack?
The spell hitting Voldemort?
Maybe.
Or hitting the Death Eater? The remaining Death Eater yelled. What's gonna make a crack noise? Disapparating? Apparating?
Could be.
Did he like summon a person out of his wand and it like made the apparating noise and then that's why it's like gold? Or did he like apparate the phoenix through his wand or something? That's the only thing that cracks.
An apparition sound? Could be.
Maybe he just shot Dumbledore out of his wand. He's gonna come back.
He shot Fox out of his wand. Little gold burst.
Because it has to be powerful enough to get rid of Voldemort when he's fully prepared to
sure.
kill him with this whole plan.
But Voldemort is not using his own wand. He's using Lucius Malfoy's wand.
Do you think Snape like rigged Malfoy's wand so that when Voldemort tries to kill him, he can't do it?
Because I think Snape is evil.
Oh.
But I don't think Snape touched Malfoy's wand at all either. I think there was like Voldemort went and just took Lucius's wand and now owns it.
Why are they like magneted together? Magnetized.
That's a great question.
The brother wand?
No, because they're not brother wands, which is fascinating.
Yeah, no,
because this is an interesting part. Because okay, so
yes.
I asked you before why Voldemort took someone else's wand, and really the reason is I'll give you this. The reason is because Voldemort doesn't know why his wand cannot beat Harry, and he's chalking it up to some kind of wand issue.
Is that why he says it's my fault that he got away?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like he just
like
kind of he's fault. Like self-deprecating, so he just blames it on himself anyway. But anytime they try to duel, when they dueled in the graveyard, there was like Priory and Katahdin where like the wands didn't act and they didn't like fight each other and like this crazy magic thing happened that like never happened this really ever. Because they're brother wands, so those two wands have the same core.
Parents came out.
Yeah. So Voldemort is like, let me bypass this. Our wands can't really act against each other, so I'm going to take someone else's wand and see if it works. And he tries to use Malfoy's wand here, and Harry's wand acts of its own accord and seems to defend Harry to some extent, which is weird. Why is that happening?
I don't know. Malfoy's wand is a dragon heartstring core.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are like more easily turned to evil. So I wonder if they're like also more easily turned to good. And then like maybe it can recognize like he's trying to kill like the chosen one. Because if the wand chooses the wizard, maybe Harry has the most powerful wand. And there's like a wand to wand communication happening of like a hierarchy of like good versus evil magic. Because why would the wand be more inclined to like go to evil?
Yeah, it's a great question.
So maybe it can be inclined to come to good if facing the most powerful wand.
It's a great question.
Because Voldemort has a really powerful wand, and then the fact that it is his sibling wand that Harry has, his wand is powerful too. So maybe the wand just like misfired. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my butt. This is
I
like
love
not
this.
anything.
No, this is so fun.
I feel like the apparition thing could be something based on the noise,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Summoning something out of his wand. All right, we'll see. Maybe. We'll see. You got any other notes in this chapter?
I don't think so. No, because I spoke whatever my single note was about Stan's Shunpike.
Yeah. I love that your only note was about Stan. That's it.
Yeah.
All the other good stuff in this chapter, nope. Stan.
Yep. That's
We're
it.
talking about Stan.
And then my other notes on this note are just like thoughts of how listening to the podcast makes me feel and hearing my own voice, because it's like really weird. Yeah. And I always say I don't know and anyways, and that's crazy. Those are like my phrases.
Yeah.
But I say that all the time in the podcast.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna notice.
Sorry,
all the other...
everyone, but that's how I am in real life. Anyway,
don't apologize.
Anyway, I just said it again. That's how I am.
We all have our little like things that we say. I always say 100%.
100%. You also say conundrum.
It's a conundrum. It is a conundrum.
What else do you say?
I got a lot of weird little things that I say.
Yeah.
But don't be a critic of yourself.
I think I can tell the day of the week that we recorded on based on how I sound. Just on how tired I sound.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
It's like a skill. I cannot do that. That's a skill.
Anyway. That's crazy. What a conundrum.
Okay, so real quick, the next chapter is called Fallen Warrior. What do you think it's going to be about?
I don't know, but Hagrid's not dead.
Yeah, you cheater.
I only read the next page.
Because it's great, because this chapter you're supposed to say, oh, Hagrid, oh no. And the next chapter is called Fallen Warrior. So and you're supposed to think that Hagrid's
But I really didn't want to start like sobbing in front of you. So... I just needed to read like one more little paragraph to just know for sure.
Come on, Lizzie. You've seen me sob.
You've probably seen me cry anyway, right? I think like everyone has seen me cry and everyone's seen me like in my PJs. If you know me. Those are my two things.
I love it.
You really haven't seen me cry?
I don't know. I think I have. I don't keep track of that though.
That's good.
I'll start keeping track of it now. I've seen Lizzie cry exactly this day.
I'll just like see you like lurking in the corner. No, and like I only remember you crying because that was like a very big moment, I guess. I was also crying.
yeah, everyone was crying.
Yeah. You cry on your TikTok.
I did.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Dude.
I've cried on my TikTok.
Louis,
you saw that video.
Yeah, that was great. That was so great. I love that one.
Yeah.
It's true. So I have seen you cry.
When was I cried 2 days ago.
Love that.
Or 3 days ago.
Love that.
Almost cried today.
Love that. Oh, freaking terrible people.
Yo.
Crying is great.
Harry needs
to do a little bit more crying.
Who does?
Harry.
Has Harry like ever cried?
Yeah. That's a great question.
Has anyone ever cried? Tonks has cried. Mrs. Weasley's cried.
Malfoy's cried.
Malfoy's cried.
Hermione's cried.
When did Hermione cry?
Lots. In the first book, in the bathroom, when they defeated the troll. Oh, yeah. Yule Ball, she cried. Every time Ron makes fun of her, she cries. In the last book, when she was with Lavender, Hermione cried. Hermione does a lot of crying. Love Hermione. I don't know if you've ever seen Harry
cry. Only Malfoy?
Yeah.
Or Draco, whatever.
He's like a little... I think Harry might have shed a tear at Dumbledore's funeral.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I think that might be the only time, though.
Ron was crying then, too, right?
Yeah. Because I don't know if he shed any tears for Sirius. I think he was just angry. He tore apart the office. But I don't know if we have any descriptions of him actually like crying or weeping.
Because there's some scene in the hospital where he's like, Dumbledore was looking intently at a bird and it gave Harry time to like wipe his eye or whatever he was looking at, but it was something like that.
His mother, they were talking about his mother's sacrifice there, I think.
Did he cry during the Priori Incantatem?
No.
Was that neat? Just I
was
the only one.
That was good, yeah. That was just you.
That's me. That was a good scene to cry at. I have been telling you like whenever I cry, so
Yeah,
I think that was all.
it's a good section. Huh. Anyway, we should have a new award. Who is the emotionally available character for these chapters?
Emotionally available?
Or who's the crier? Yeah. Who's like the?
That's such a weird way of saying that.
I know. I'm trying to figure out a good way of saying it. Who is the most emotionally healthy person in these chapters? Because I don't think there's a lot of them that are that emotionally healthy.
Yeah, there's a lot of
dysfunction.
Yeah.
Which, it's great. We're all dysfunctional.
Probably Fleur right now. She's
holding it together. Yeah.
And now she's in the order.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's a great one. She's kind of she's probably my hot tamale in this chapter. These chapters.
Fallen Warrior. This chapter art is like 6 people looking up at the sky, and there's a house in the back. And a tree. What does it mean?
What does it mean? What does it mean indeed? You can read after this if you want. So.
Could. The Fallen Warrior. Somebody dies. Somebody on the brooms dies.
Who?
One of the Weasleys? I don't know. If it's Moody, I'm going to be so upset. I feel like I do remember a Weasley dying at some point. Mundungus, I feel like is just going to live on because he's like a blah character. What's up, Lou? Who else was there? Did Mr. Weasley fly?
Uh-huh.
Hagrid's alive.
The twins flew. Ron, Hermione, Kingsley.
I quite like Kingsley.
Yeah, he's good, right?
Is he gonna die? This is when I need you to just like say everyone's name. Look at me in the eyes. I will Aquaman-see you.
we could try that. See how good your it's legitimacy. I would perform Aquaman. But we can see how good your skills are.
I could probably tell when you're lying at this point.
You want to try? I'll name all the characters that were flying, and you can see.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
Did you have to stare at me the entire time? And don't smile.
All right, I can't help it. I'm gonna try.
Jeez.
Okay, I need to think of who's here. Hold on.
He's counting on his fingers. If you're not watching the YouTube.
I'll cut this part out. So look at you.
Mm-hmm. But you can't smile. I would say you're exceptional at making eye contact.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's scary.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if it was a good thing or a bad thing. Scary thing.
No, it's good. I just don't like when I look away and you're like still looking at me.
Hello, Lizzie.
Anyway, it's good.
All right. Harry.
Sounds terrifying. Never do that again. Oh my god. All right, start over.
Let me, because there's 14 people. Let me try to remember all these 14 people. I don't know if I can. Harry, Ron, Hermione, Bill, Fleur. I'm only at 5.
Moody, Mundungus.
Wait, Moody,
Hagrid.
Mundungus, Hagrid,
Your
Kingsley,
fingers are so
Charlie.
long.
I know, or no, not Charlie. Mr. Weasley. That's 10. The twins. Tonks.
Lupin.
And Lupin. There's 14.
Twins. One of them. I don't know. Or Bill. But Bill already has been through a lot, so
All right.
I feel like he's not going to die.
All right. We'll see how good your legitimacy is in a few.
I learned nothing.
Yeah.
That was not helpful at all.
I was trying real hard for my acclimacy right there. All right. Give me, really quick, give me your favorite character in these chapters.
Harry.
Good. That's it. That's all I wanted. Well, thanks for joining us on this journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
See ya.
Bye.
Second time reader.
Yeah. Second time reader, sorry. Bye.